Hey, it's Michael J. And it seems to be the 100th anniversary of The Great Gatsby. So I am wearing my Great Gatsby t-shirt, which, as you can see, is the cover of the original dust jacket. I get a lot of compliments whenever I wear this. People recognize it. It's one of the great covers, dust jacket covers of any book, because it's so recognizable and it's just really cool. Now, I don't have a copy of that particular edition. There were only a small number sold. Actually, it got bad reviews and it didn't do well. And in F. Scott Fitzgerald's lifetime, he didn't know the great success it would eventually have. Apparently, he died when he was 44 years old, so he could have lived long enough to know. But I think that was 1940 when he died. Anyway, then comes World War II, and they put out a special edition of a lot of novels to send overseas to entertain the troops. And there were these little pocket editions, and The Great Gatsby was one of them. And so all of these servicemen read The Great Gatsby, and when they went back home to become teachers and librarians and it was inspiring to so many people. It became part of our cultural heritage and really important. And the subsequent film versions that followed were actually kind of numerous. There's quite a few of them. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today, comparing the adaptations of this great novel. This is my copy. It's just this little small version, but I found it at a used bookstore, but it had such a neat design on the cover. I just really like it. But it's not a long book. It's an easy read. It's so evocative of New York in the 1920s, and more than just that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff about the Roaring Twenties that you can't find in this book. But it's everything he's just describing about the world of Jay Gatsby and the characters in the story is so vivid and beautiful. And the film versions can't quite capture that because, well, it's just a different medium. But they captured it in different ways. So I thought, let's explore the different ways that this novel is captured on film. This first film treatment from the silent days starred Warner Baxter as Jay Gatsby and Neil Hamilton as Nick Carraway. Neil Hamilton is best known to us as Commissioner Gordon from TV's Batman. Also, William Powell played George Wilson, and Lois Wilson was Daisy. Unfortunately, the only thing that survives from this movie is the trailer. We're all waiting for someone to discover a print from some vault somewhere. It would be fascinating to see it. In 1949, Alan Ladd played Jay Gatsby in an adaptation that barely has anything to do with the novel. It's so different that it is a misrepresentation to actually title it The Great Gatsby. Now, it does retain some plot points, and you can even hear the occasional line directly from the novel, but they don't even bother to costume it in the 1920s. It's very different. The 1974 film starring Robert Redford and Mia Farrow was very true to the novel and a popular success. Most people who love the novel probably think of this film as the best version. The costumes by Theoni V. Aldridge also influenced fashion trends in that moment, which was seeing a nostalgic craze for the 1920s. For me, this film unfolds a bit slowly. The novel doesn't have much action and is more descriptive, beautifully so. A movie points a camera at the thing described in the novel, and you're done. So you lose what's beautiful about the novel for the simple action of the plot. A movie is naturally a different animal and can't possibly capture the reading experience. So in that sense, I find Baz Luhrmann's 2013 movie to be a better experience. But we'll get to that. A 2000 TV movie with Paul Rudd as Nick, Mira Sorvino as Daisy, and Toby Stephens as Gatsby didn't improve on 1974, but it's a good cast and a fair adaptation.
Still, one wonders why it was made since it doesn't find a new way into depicting the novel. Baz Luhrmann's movie in 2013 was brash, fast-paced, action-packed, fusing modern music and style influences into a mythical 1920s milieu. 1920s New York is a CGI, colorful 3D created world that wasn't unlike the myriad of superhero movies being made. I went to see it twice, once in 3D, which was worth it, and then again in 2D, just to see the difference and to see if I had a different opinion of the adaptation. I do find it to be the most entertaining, and there is a greater focus on the words of F. Scott Fitzgerald, even if it's filled with anachronisms. This is a unique vision from a very specific directorial point of view. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio as Gatsby, Tobey Maguire as Nick, and Carey Mulligan as Daisy. The costumes in this movie were done in collaboration with Brooks Brothers, who sold them in their stores at the time the movie was released. I went over to look at them right after I saw the movie. They had the pink suit, but I couldn't imagine where I'd wear it. Just recently, we've had two musicals vying for attention, with a current Broadway version featuring a score by Jason Howland and Nathan Tyson. Another version called Gatsby, an American Myth, with a score by Florence Welch and Thomas Bartlett, ran during the 2024 summer at the American Repertory Theater in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and might also find its way into future productions the way the dueling versions of The Wild Party both found a place in the theater landscape back in 2000. When people think of the 1920s, they think of The Great Gatsby. So, 1920s themed parties are often called Gatsby parties, or picnics, which are popular as well. They happen all over the country in different forms, with participants dressing up to go back in time to this romanticized era. Actually, going to a Gatsby picnic would be the perfect place to wear that Brooks Brothers pink suit. So, while none of the movie versions capture the reading experience of the novel, that's really okay. Just read the novel. But as a movie experience, my personal favorite is Baz Luhrmann's roller coaster ride of a movie. I can appreciate the 1974 and will enjoy it when it pops up on TCM, but I just have more fun watching the 2013 movie.
You see, I'm Gatsby.
His smile was one of those rare smiles that you may come across 4 or 5 times in life.